Balls Mahoney, and he makes a suggestion, and Meltzer would say it was embarrassing and hurt the main event from the start when his suggestion got no pop. Meltzer would say very long match where they try to tell a story, but as mentioned before, the fact that nobody believed Mahoney had a prayer of winning and they didn't see him as a main eventer on the pay-per-view, it drew no heat. They worked very hard to try to get heat. Van Dam did a moonsault off the guardrail, but Mahoney caught him and planted him. So lots of fun action here, but you know what's coming. It's going to be a frog splash for the pin. And Meltzer sums it up in 3 words: way too long. But Rob Van Dam, one of the all-time greats here in ECW, arguably the best wrestler in the company and one of the most over wrestlers in the company at this point. And he's made that television title really mean something. He's carried it, I believe, since April of 98. So we're almost like 18 months with this title here at this point.
For all the credit we give to Paul E., deservedly so, I'm going to be a little critical of one thing here. The positioning of this match is all wrong.
Yeah. I mean, look, I don't disagree, but I am curious to see, what would you have done? I'm not saying it to be funny, but what should have been the main event? You still would have went with Taz, Tanaka, and Balls?
Right. Taz walking out.
I guess I can only guess that maybe, Paul knew, hey, I don't know how long we've got Mike Awesome. I don't know how long we've got Masato Tanaka. I know we have them for now, but neither one may be long-term players for us, but Taz is on his way out. So let's make the best of a bad situation. But I think if it was in the main event, a lot of people would have said, oh, well, we know Taz is going to lose. He's leaving. He's got a new deal. And maybe putting it where it did, it added an air of unpredictability. And I just wonder, like, if Taz is the main event and he gets pinned very fast, I don't know.
Yeah. That those are all good arguments to the fact. I still think that
I'll tell you this though, but Balls Mahoney, Rob Van Dam doesn't feel like a pay-per-view main event.
No, it doesn't.
Now Rob Van Dam does, but Balls as an opponent, not so much.
No, because he's the top baby face in the company. I get that. But here's what I'm saying that I think trumps all of that, what we've been saying. You still make your world title mean more than anything else. You elevate the world title by putting it on last. I've always believed that. I'm going to go back in my days of fandom. Okay. Ric Flair, and I know I'm beating a dead horse here, but I think it's relevant to this argument. Ric Flair and Blackjack Mulligan had one of the greatest feuds ever. And they milked that feud to the point to where they sold out everywhere when they finally had their match. It was built up so well. And I went to see them wrestle. And I'm thinking this is going to be the greatest thing I ever saw. But they were not on last. Harley Race, who was the world champion, was on last. Even though the big thing was Flair and Mulligan.
Right.
They always did that. The world champion comes out last. And maybe that's old school. I don't know. But I always thought that's how you should end your shows. But I know things have changed. I get it. And I'm bendable to that. But you still got to make the world title. And to me here, I mean, I know what he's meant to their television title. And you're right. No one believes Balls Mahoney is going to win this thing. No one. Would have been better if the other guy would have had the match with him. Would it have meant more?
I don't know.
Anyway, let's. I think Rob Van Dam knows he's got a long time to wrestle this guy, because he certainly is taking his time, isn't he?
Well, the deal is they're only 2 hours and 17 minutes into a quote unquote 3 hour show. So they've got plenty of time. I think realistically, they could have tried to slide some more matches in here. I mean, I don't know what that would have been, but
I would have gone backstage, check on Francine, check on Dawn Marie. They both took vicious bumps. Just go take a camera backstage. Say, "Girls, you okay? Let's bring Tony Schiavone back with a microphone to talk to Francine. Francine, I saw you take that horrible bump by that motherfucker. Are you okay, my dear? Oh, and by the way, your outfit is wonderful."
4 days later, when they did a house show, they had a young kid, Cash, doing a match. So he would be here not too long after. So you can tell they're trying to sort of spread their wings. By the way, it's worth mentioning, after we said that here at Anarchy Rules, they drew 6,000 fans.
Yeah.
That's in the suburbs of Chicago. How about Grand Rapids, Michigan? 4 days later, you want to guess what the house was?
It wasn't 6,000.
Nope. Yes.
1,000.
550.
550.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Well, that's obviously not having a good That's not having a good promoter. I mean, yeah, they didn't want to see it. I get that, but you still should be able to, with some good promotion.
3 weeks prior to this, they were in Lebanon, Pennsylvania. On top was this main event: Rob Van Dam and Balls Mahoney. You want to guess what it drew?
Yeah, I'm going to go with 1,000 again.
300.
Oh my God.
They were in Columbus, Georgia, a month prior to this. Taz and Devon Dudley on top. You want to guess?
Columbus, Georgia. They're not going to draw more than 500 there.
200.
Yeah. So how much were these guys getting paid, Conrad, for doing this stuff? I mean, they're not drawing enough money on these house shows to pay these guys.
There you go. That's where the problems start, right?
Yeah. What were they made? Is it common knowledge of what guys like Van Dam were making back then? I know you've talked about many times in the earlier shows that we watched that, a lot of guys didn't always get paid.
Yeah. The real problems, with pay started in 2000. But like here's the thing, you got to appreciate, like on this show, it's a $200,000 gate. So that'll carry you for a little while.
Right.
And then you've got a pay-per-view buy rate going to come in or the payoffs will come in like 6 months, but you've got to sort of float everybody till you get there. And I can tell you that's tough. Like, here we are in, early September. I don't have the payoff from Las Vegas for Starrcast 2 on pay-per-view. But everybody's been paid. But me.
Let me check my PayPal account.
Yeah, see, right?
You're an honest man, Conrad Thompson.
That's what's weird though, is I got criticized for Starrcast 1 because we did a podcast row because we charged podcasters to have a spot on Podcast Row, and a lot of the smaller podcasts, not a lot, a handful, took a great issue with that and felt like I should have just comped that. But what's interesting to me is, wait a minute, I have to pay, but they don't. Like, I had to pay to be there. The hotel and, the venues, they're not just giving you space and internet and tables and promotion and tablecloths and power, and like, you're paying all the wrestlers to be there. You're paying the venue to be there. You're paying the vendors to bring in your tables. You're paying your staff to set everything up. I mean, there's overhead involved with all of it, but I'm supposed to bear all of that and just give it to other sort of startup podcasts. But I have to eat it because I elected to do this. And they felt like they should have been credentialed and been given press credentials because they're quote unquote press. And I'm sure that they all these smaller podcasts get press credentials at WWE shows and Ring of Honor shows and TNA shows and AEW shows. I'm sure that, they've got press credentials for all those. So.
Well, this is the pot calling the kettle black. but you just got to ignore that shit.
No, I do. I mean, it's just like that's my point though, is I think sometimes people don't have the capacity to see it from another perspective. So like, whereas you may say, oh, the ECW guys pay is slow. I get that sucks. But when you understand that the life cycle of, the pay-per-view payoff dragging months and months behind, but yet you've still got to pay everybody. That's sort of the role of the promoter and the promoter only. But a lot of times the boys don't ever see that. And especially when you run through some of these gates where, yeah, hey, let's take a victory lap here for 6,000 fans. And in fact, 8 days prior to this, they did a TNN taping in Buffalo. That's like 4,000 fans there. Those are big houses. That's great. But 1 week after this show, it's 550. A couple days after that, it's 600. The day after that, it's 850. The day after that, it's 930. So we're not talking about just printing money. Cause I mean, realistically, how much were tickets to an ECW show? $20.
Mm.
So at $20, you're at 18 grand and you got to fly everybody there and rent the building and pay for staff and, the ring truck and the security and the ticket takers. And you got to have a monster insurance policy and liability coverage. And it's no wonder to see when you're drawing those numbers that they were struggling and they could say, well, fucking go out of business. They did. So that's it. If you dig it, you got to support it. And if you don't, it goes away. And, there's a lot of big wrestling fans in those markets, where they drew 550, oh man, I can't believe ECW died. It died because you didn't support it. Like these are all very much DIY, entrepreneurial endeavors. Like nobody, Paul Heyman included, was getting rich doing ECW.
They did before they went out of business. They just cut their house shows. I mean, if you're drawing that amount of, you just don't do it.
Yeah. Well, you certainly become, and in fairness, what they're trying to do here is they were trying to stretch. They were, they knew they could get 1,500 fans once a month in Philadelphia. They know they can get, a few thousand fans in Chicago, every 6 weeks or every 2 months or whatever the number is. But you've got to have other markets to keep these guys busy and to keep the income coming in. So you're looking for, hey, where else can we go? So they went to some markets that they felt like were maybe underserved markets. Maybe there's an opportunity there. And sometimes they were right and sometimes they were wrong. But that's what you do. You try to, hey, where else can we replicate this? And you don't know until you try. So they tried some stuff and had some money losers along the way. There's no chance they ran a house show or they ran a show, drew 200 and then said, oh, can't wait to come back next month.
Yeah. Meanwhile, Rob Van Dam doing all he can with this match.
You ready for this? Look at the crowd. They know what's coming.
He's really going to do this?
He made this famous in April of 98. Here he comes.
Holy fucking shit.
Dude, that's spectacular. No matter when you see it.
First thing I'm thinking of is if he's going to take a tumble like that, and I've told kids that the kids that I work with in MLW, and a lot of kids are, independent guys who go around and take bumps. And if you're going to take crazy bumps like that, by God, it better be some money at the end of it.
Meltzer would right. Van Dam did this incredible somersault plancha 3 rows deep into the crowd. It's an amazing sight. And Mahoney juiced for no reason. Eventually he would say, both guys brawling was not good at all. Van Dam's weakness is throwing punches since it's all arm with no body and noticeably pulled.
Mm-hmm.
2 stars is what he gave this one.
Okay. So did Balls Mahoney juice from the plancha there?
You would think, right?
Well, yeah. Fucking fans are into his shit. Yeah, there he comes up with juice. See, I think Meltzer said juice for no reason. Bullshit. That was a spectacular spot. And if you fucking juice, it even makes it more spectacular. It helps elevate the spot, and a spot that probably didn't even need to be elevated, but why not? See, I don't agree with that comment there at all. Juice for no reason. A lot of grunge rock look about these guys, isn't it?
That's what ECW is, baby.
Yeah, so. Yes. Where do they come up with this look?
You want to have an idea of what I'm thinking we might want to do next week here on the show?
Do some grunge lyrics?
No, I'm talking about on Tony Reed's rap.
Oh, okay. Hey, how about this? How about I get in touch with Francine and have her read rap with me?
Why didn't you just ask her last week in Chicago at Starrcast?
Well, I didn't think about it till right now.
Well, we should do that one day then.
Mm-hmm. I could just, I could get a recorder. I could go visit her when her husband's not in town. I don't want to, interrupt family time. And bring a recorder, and we could just do a rap song together.
Well, here's what I'm thinking I want you to do next week.
Oh, you already got the song picked out?
Yeah. I was asking if you wanted to know about it.
Of course you do.
It's a little known song, but it was hot back in the day. It's from 1991.
Oh boy. Does it have the words motherfucker in it?
I'm pretty sure it's in like the first 4 or 5 lines.
I'm sure it is. Does it have the word vagina in it? The colloquial for vagina?
I think that's in the 3rd line.
Mm-hmm.
Or when the actual song starts, not just the intro, it's in the 1st line.
Okay. All right.
Do you want to know the name of the song?
Well, I think we've named the song already, haven't we?
No.
Pussy Motherfucker?
No.
That's not the name of the song?
No.
Okay.
The name of the song, for our listeners, a heads up.
Mm-hmm.
I know you're not going to listen to it. You hate this segment. It's by a performer named AMG.
AMG.
Yes.
Okay.
Not like the trim package on your new Mercedes, since you've got all that con money. But I figure since you do have all this newfound windfall, this financial windfall, that you would appreciate the song, Bitch Better Have My Money. And that's what we'll be doing here next week on the show.
Bitch better have my money. That is a pretty good name for a song.
Yeah.
See, I could see, Francine and I doing the song, and I say, bitch better have my money. And then she look at me and say, I got your money, you fucker, or something like that. You cocksucker.
What are you doing right now?
I'm just, as you like to say, I'm freestyling.
Okay.
And in the midst of all this freestyling, Rob Van Dam's doing some pretty good tumbling and shit.
Tumbling and shit.
What he's doing, he just tumbled through and flipped up in the air and tumbled down on the chair.
I can't believe that you said tumbling and shit.
I'm sure he was a great gymnast at one time. You've got to practice tumbling. Don't you think? Got to get on the mat and tumble. There's a new t-shirt, tumbling and shit. We've been so busy with Starrcast and.
Oh, don't you worry. I got big plans. I got somebody working on it right now. Mm-hmm. And then the next 2 weeks, it's going to be a whole new world.
Well, we've kind of stopped talking about t-shirts and lowestrules.com because
it's coming. Don't worry.
Okay. Plugging our live shows and,
well, since we're about to be off the road, we're going to have more time for these t-shirts. You dig?
I dig.
I think you,
what?
I think you
love dogs.
I think you
love Francine.
I think you're going to love this song.
Okay.
I don't even know that I want to wait till next week, if I'm honest with you.
No, come on. You got to wait next week. And what's our show next week?
You know exactly what it is.
Yeah, I forgot. I've got so much going on in my life. I forgot.
What, you have more? Come on. I'm just lucky to be here. Next week, we're covering Clash 8 Fall.
Oh, yes, that's right. See, I knew that.
Fall Brawl 89.
That was a great year in WCW because I wasn't there. Great WCW year. Hey, I need to say something about, and we're watching this match. We're talking about everything. The big guy, Balls Mahoney, is putting in a hell of an effort in this match.
Oh, he's doing his best.
Yes, he is.
But the fans just start buying him as a top guy, as a real threat to the title. He's been positioned as a tag wrestler.
Right.
But next week we're going to talk about Road Warriors, Samoan SWAT team, Cuban Assassin.
The Cuban Assassin, really?
Sid Vicious.
Okay.
Ranger Ross. The Steiner brothers. Missy Hyatt. Robin Green. Fabulous Freebirds. Teddy Long. Norman the Lunatic. Brian Pillman. Mike Rotunda. Dr. Death. Steve Williams. Tommy Rich. Wildfire. Somebody say something about shitty podcasts. Lex Luger. Great Muda. Dick Slater. Sting. And Richard.
Think Richard will show up? Oh, that's right. It's on tape.
By the way, it was 2,600 fans in Columbia, South Carolina.
How about that? And we had just seen a couple of weeks ago a full house in Columbia, South Carolina.
Bam! Look at that chair shot. Did you see that?
Yes, I did.
Look at that chair.
Got my fucking eyes peeled. He got his own chair too, doesn't he? Got his name on it.
It says Balls. So you may not be familiar with this, but whenever he would punch someone, the fans would go balls. And so if he hit a guy several times, balls, 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 balls. But then if his opponent blocked it and punched him, they would go nuts.
That's pretty fucking cool.
Put his head down for the chair shot, and here it comes. Are you ready for this? Don't kill Fonzie. Don't kill Fonzie. Don't kill Fonzie. Oh no. Oh, the chair's backwards. It's facing the wrong way. It's a good thing because he got Van-Daminated. I hope he's gonna set up the frog splash now. Oh, he kicked out of the Van-Daminator. What's he gonna do?
Wow, springing up there.
Ready to go.
The fans are ready.
With the 5-star frog splash.
You know what? That's
one.
There you go.
2,
it's spectacular.
3. There you go. That's a wrap. That's going to be the end of Anarchy Rules. We get a highlight package and then we're out of here. Pretty memorable night though, seeing Taz leave the promotion, drop the world title, and on his way out, do the honors for the one and only Mike Awesome. I loved it. I'm a big fan of Mike Awesome, big fan of Taz, big fan of Masato Tanaka. one of my very favorite matches in the company, just because it was so memorable that the Taz went out the way he did. And, anytime Mike Awesome and Masato Tanaka were in there, it was absolute magic.
I haven't seen how many ECW events have we watched? It's like our third, maybe fourth.
Yeah, we've seen a handful, more than 3 or 4, but
yeah, okay. There's not one that I can say that I didn't like. Now, that doesn't mean I liked every match, but I fucking liked it. I like the fan response, how the fans were rabid. I like the high spots. I like the fucking chair shots. I obviously liked Francine.
Obviously.
Did I say I liked Francine?
Obviously.
Mm-hmm. Without question, as a matter of fact. Rob Van Dam was spectacular. Loved Taz. They just had a lot of great characters. And you know what? Tip of the cap again to Paul Lee.
Did a great job.
Yeah, and I don't know how they're using him. I know what his role is, but I mean, if I'm running a company and I look at a show like this, I go to Paulie Dangerous and say, "It's yours. Whatever you want to do, come up with it. It's fine with me."
Well,
just see what happens.
I'm hoping that we can just see what happens and that you can figure out what to do when I say, Tony, it's about that time.
It's about that time, ladies and gentlemen. Francine and Dawn Marie and Tony Schiavone are coming to the ring. They are the new world 6-man tag team champions. And would you take a look around the waist of Francine? There's that 6-man tag team belt that Tony dug out of his attic and Conrad wants. And Conrad storming the ring. He is jumping on the back of Schiavone. He's beating him down. But oh no, Francine and Dawn Marie are coming to his aid. That's right. They have thrown off Conrad, and they are both now attacking Tony Schiavone. And he's down and he's sounding like a baby. Oh my God, what a way to end our show. That's right, Conrad. I'm coming to help you soon. We're desperately out of time. We'll see you next week. You're listening to What Happened When, as we come to you each and every week on Wednesdays, as well as on Mondays, exclusively on
Patron.
And Nitro, New World Order, and the Crow. Thunder, Russo, Arquette, Champ, Vinnie, Mac, simulcast. Tony's back with Conrad, not your classy podcast. Watch along, try not to laugh. Lowest rules, cat back. This wasn't the initial plan. Tom Zig's a good-looking man. Klondike Bill, make him chant. Tommy, you come over here.